Welcome to No Clue Podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Tyler.
I'm Mike.
First round NBA playoffs is officially over. First of all, is there any surprises?
Some. There definitely is some.
What are you most surprised by? Because I have some too.
Denver came back. I was surprised by that.
That was a surprise, yeah.
The Rockets came back. I was surprised by that.
Okay.
The 2 Game 7s were probably the most surprising, to be honest.
I have a negative surprise. I guess we talked about this one already, but the Lakers, they can't win 2 games, bro. 2 games. Gentlemen sweep on the Lakers is tough. LeBron and Luka. And obviously, just like any great superstar does, and probably really only great superstars do this, is mention they had an injury when they lose in dramatic fashion. All of a sudden, LeBron had like 3 injuries he was playing the last 3 games with.
Which wouldn't have changed, LeBron being more healthy wouldn't have changed this series.
It happens to every star. The Harden one is probably coming out soon. Let's talk about that one first. Let's talk about the Nuggets and Clippers. The Clippers' absolute meltdown in the series, an absolute meltdown in Game 7. And really, is it the Clippers' meltdown or is it just James Harden's meltdown?
To me, this is the Clippers.
Okay.
Like Harden, it wasn't as glaring as it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like he's just all because he was distributing the last game, even while it was kind of close.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't just like avoiding the basketball and avoiding the rim.
Yeah.
To me, this is like I don't know how anybody watches this series and thinks Ty Lue is doing a good job.
People keep saying he's like the best coach in the league that just no one is talking about. I just don't see it.
Bro, every game they kept cutting to Jeff Van Gundy, like really talking to guys, really trying to coordinate.
Yeah.
And it never translated.
He wants to coach again so bad.
It never translated, though. That's what was irritating me.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamal wakes up, 5 games into the series. You're lucky. You're lucky you got 4 bad games from Jamal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in this Game 7, everybody for Denver plays well.
Yeah, it's 6 in double figures, right?
You had Denver looking so good. I'm a little more like, maybe this next round will be interesting.
Yeah.
They did make Denver fathom.
They made Denver look like favorites for the next round.
Dude, I've been like paying attention to how teams are coming out of halftime because that's a good like sign for what the coach is talking about and if the message is like resonating.
Yeah.
How do you come out of that halftime in Game 7 and just like give up?
I wish I knew.
That to me was like they were cutting to Steve Ballmer. That shit was like I felt secondhand embarrassment for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God. And they keep talking about they're the hottest team going into the playoffs. Like, they switched the whole series. They never switched it up.
Yeah.
Just Bogdanovich. Did Bogdanovich have a single minute of good basketball?
Not that I saw.
And he kept going to him. Why? Zubac is the only big on the roster?
Consistent listeners of the pod know I don't have to say anything about Bogdanovich. Everyone can already tell what I'm thinking at this point.
He was such an asshole this whole series. It was insane.
Yeah, Ben Simmons got the benching in Game 7.
Why did you play him 6 games? What was the point?
I know, and this was the one I thought they actually could have used his distributing a little more. I mean, Harden had 13 assists, but I was like, well, if they could get someone else that could swing the ball well in this game, they really didn't have anyone else that was making any good passes. Basically, everyone else had 2 turnovers, just about. Yeah, and Denver 6 in double figures, and Peyton Watson had 9, so they basically had 7.
That's the whole rotation.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like
a bucket.
last time, I'll admit I was wrong. Last time we were on the pod, I thought Denver was done. They didn't play defense for the first 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you lose a series where the team essentially spots you 3? I mean, you blew that first one. You really should have been up 3-0.
Yeah.
And to collapse like this, I mean, Jamal is just eating you alive, and you're like focused on Jokic.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre.
The other thing that was really weird, the role players being like basically non-existent in this game. I mean, obviously Harden was bad, but Norman Powell 4 for 11. Norman Powell was minus 31 in this game. Minus 31. Kawhi was minus 33, so I guess it's not that bad. Batum, like I get Batum is a defensive player, but the Clippers, especially when you're playing the Nuggets, you can't afford to have guys out there that can't contribute on both ends. Like the Nuggets is one of those teams that if you just have a defensive specialist, it's not going to help you because then you're basically playing 4-on-5 on offense, and that's what they did basically the whole time Batum was out there. Sometimes he just seems like he doesn't really have a grasp on the roster on like where to put guys like Derrick Jones Jr., where to put Bogdanovich, which is on the bench. Kobe Brown, who came in out of nowhere, was 6 for 7. Who is Kobe Brown?
Chris Dunn played his way out of the series.
He did. Yeah,
I mean, that was the real difference. Was Chris Dunn was giving you offense, you were winning. Chris Dunn stopped contributing on both ends. You stopped winning.
Yeah, but he even just didn't take enough shots. 4 shots. I mean, going 1 for 4, you didn't take enough shots. You need at least 6 shots out there to really make it different.
The second half of this series, it really like James Harden has point guard ability.
Yeah.
But he's not dedicated to being one.
No, he's not. That's a problem throughout the league at this point.
Like in general, this series was one of the worst I can remember.
As far as
it's just the games were bad. Both defenses couldn't guard each other.
Yeah.
Both rotations didn't really do shit. I mean, Denver had game 7, but that was really it.
Yeah.
So it's just neither of these teams were fighting for who was going to lose first.
Yeah.
And for the Clippers to run away with it like that was just embarrassing.
Yeah. Run away with the lose first title?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so moving forward, Nuggets and Thunder. What's your call? Sweep?
OKC in 5.
Gentlemen sweep. How could Denver win this series? Because I agree, OKC in 5. How could Denver win this? If you went into a coma and you woke up 2 weeks from now and they told you Denver actually beat OKC in the second round, how would you think it happened?
I mean, Jamal and Jokic got to be great for 4 games.
Yeah.
And specifically outplay, they have to be the first and second best player.
Mm-hmm.
If they could outplay Shea 4 times, which I think they're capable.
Yeah.
I think they give themselves a good chance in every one of those games. It's up to them at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Nuggets will have to take more threes than they normally take to win the series. And even if they don't make all of them, I just think they have to be more aggressive from outside because OKC will be. And if they don't, if Denver doesn't at least try to shoot with them, they're just going to get outscored. They're just going to get outscored by a long shot. I think.
Yes.
Because Denver has the tools to take more threes. They just don't take that many. I mean, I don't know the stats, but from the eye test, they don't take that many. It doesn't seem like. But I think they would need to keep up with the scoring of OKC because OKC is going to be fast. They're going to take a lot of free throws. And it'll be ugly. One of
And
these games is going to be a 30-point game.
They can't wait half the series to start playing defense.
Mm-hmm.
That was, again, their roster's not good for it, but like they rotated a lot better the second half of the series.
Yeah.
And it's like, if we're going to give Shea 3 great games, you're down 3-0, the series is over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just obliterated a team, and Shea didn't even play that well.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point, like, not only do you have to match their firepower, but you got to be locked in to start this series. I'm hoping, because you just had a long one, like that normally kind of transitions at least to that first game.
Yeah.
So, but that's really the only way.
Yeah. Okay. Let's moving on. Warriors Rockets. You said you were surprised the Rockets. You surprised that the Rockets came back?
Yes.
Brought it to 7?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not surprised, but it's a very negative reason why. I guess most of my reasons are negative, but I'm not surprised just because the Warriors are old. And the Rockets, this is the first year in the NBA, not the first year, but one of the few years in the NBA where I really feel like the NBA has the best athletes on the planet. No offense to the other sports, but people always have a hard time with other leagues where it's like, yeah, you got guys playing in the league that probably shouldn't be in the league athletically. But this year in the NBA, I feel like everyone in the league is a super gifted, uber athletic human being. And the Rockets are like the prime specimens of that. Like they just have guys who are just like freak athletic athletes. And they imposed that on the Warriors in those games, big time. Especially Game 6. That was just atrocious. A beatdown, and they just looked like they were just bullying the Warriors for the whole game with their size and their speed and everything.
And that's what's like. Minnesota next, potentially OKC next. Like even younger, even more depth, even more self-aware. Like. You're in trouble. That's why, like, this series for the Warriors fans, this was not a good series. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
Their depth is just non-existent. Every time, to your point, every time the Rockets role players played well, it was like, oh, the Rockets are like a night and day better team.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't happen. It needed to happen one more time, and it didn't.
Right.
But this series, like, it showed Houston's immaturity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had a ton of room to grow.
Yeah.
So for them, I think this is a lot of things they could take away and get better from.
We'll wait on the offseason stuff with them. But I will say just this one point. This is just super bright future for this team. I mean, it's going to be really interesting what they do, which way they go from here. Do they stay with what they have because they have all these guys, all these athletes, all these talented guys, so many versatile guys. Like everyone on the team except Van Vliet can play like 3 positions, like legitimately. And then, or do they say, well, this is a really good team. We just got to plug and play a superstar and we'll be fine. That's the tough spot for them.
I don't know how much better Jalen Green is going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if is Van Vliet the right guy to play with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the only questions I have. To me, I'd run it back.
I would run it back too. I would just look for maybe more veteran pieces and run it back. I would definitely not trade anybody.
No, and I mean, absolute worst case, if maybe next season you're not as good, then at the deadline you're active.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, next season, why would you not be the number 2 to 1 seed again?
I agree.
Like, there's no excuse for you not to run this back and try to take that next leap.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're looking for a forward. All the trades that the media wants is for a forward, and I think that's just the wrong move. I think their forwards is where their strongest players are. So I think the other places they have other places they could look for stuff. Moving forward, Warriors and Timberwolves. Who you got and why?
I don't know how you pick the Warriors here.
Yeah, it's tough.
I want to say Warriors in 7.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm gonna say Wolves in 6.
Wolves in 6. I am gonna say Wolves in 5.
Wow.
But I want to say Warriors in 6. I want to say Warriors in 6. But I will say Wolves in 5.
It's like this is a tough pick because both teams are not very reliable.
Yeah.
But it's like what I saw from the Wolves last round gave me a ton of positives moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could take away stuff they did in the first round and translate it to next round and continue to play well.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah.
Like he essentially won 2 of the games largely by himself almost. I mean, that's exaggerating, but he was huge in both games.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like, the Warriors really aren't going to have an answer for him.
Yeah.
Considering all the other people they got to deal with. Randall was really, like, active.
Yeah.
And that's really all I can ask because the Warriors, you're going to need that.
Right.
Versus, what did we just see from the Warriors? Like,
the opposite.
Talk to me about this. Let's talk about Game 7. Okay, Buddy Hield went off. Is that sustainable?
No, and Jimmy is not nearly aggressive enough, which for whatever reason, injury or whatever, we don't know.
The Rockets were offensively disgusting most of the game, and it was like close. Like they were in it the whole time.
I will say, I think there's things that the Lakers did that the Warriors will do better. I mean, like the Lakers did wrong that I don't think that are mistakes that I don't think the Warriors would make. But I don't know if that's enough to win 4 games. That's the thing.
The problem is like Draymond Green has to guard a lot of guys in this series.
Yeah. He has to choke a lot of guys this series.
Right. Like Jimmy, to your point, can't just not attack.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is going to be in his face the whole time. Maybe that'll wake him up. You know, Jimmy can randomly be activated by matchups, so maybe there's something there.
Yeah.
But to me, like the Warriors, again, just perspective, this Game 7, their 6th man was a guy who they gave up on the whole series, and he was fucking trash every minute he played.
Kuminga you're talking about?
Yes. Yeah. And to like that really lets you know how much faith Steve Kerr has. That like Podziemski was contributing. He wasn't playing great, but he was contributing.
Yeah.
And we're not trusting him like enough. We're not trusting Moody, who's been trashed, I guess, Looney enough. But Kuminga's the first guy? Like, how does that make sense?
Right.
That you won the game, but that move was so idiotic to me. Like, he immediately was just awful. And I wasn't even surprised by that.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't surprised either. I was hoping he would come in motivated with some energy, but obviously he didn't. He made like 2 moves right away that looked trash.
The Wolves had people to turn to when their stars weren't playing well.
See, that is something I don't think the Warriors – I mean, I think the Warriors will be able to manage that. I think the Warriors are a better defensive team than the Lakers. And I don't think that guys like Jaden McDaniels, I just don't see them like really going off like that. Unless the Warriors are really just laying an egg. Like the Lakers give up something on defense all the time. Sometimes the Warriors don't give up anything on defense that isn't like really earned. So I don't know. It'll be curious to see. I mean, I'll be curious to see what happens there in those kind of situations where the others for them, like Alexander Walker's not coming in hitting 6 threes on the Warriors. I just don't see that happening.
See, the thing is, like, you're right, especially because the Wolves are stiff offensively.
Mm-hmm.
But the athletic difference is so
Yeah.
overwhelming here.
It is.
Like Steph just struggled with an athletic roster, a lot of those games.
Yeah.
Now it's another series of 6 to 7 games of him struggling.
Yeah, but are they as athletic? Not really. Like Conley's going to be out there. DiVincenzo, who Steph has already smoked probably every day in practice. Like they got guys that they have more weak links on the Timberwolves than they do on the Rockets.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then a Gobert switch is barbecue chicken for everybody. If he switches to anybody on the out, Podziemski's taking Gobert to the rack on the outside. I mean, and Randall plays pretty good defense, but if he's outside, then somebody's not inside. And I think you're gonna have to really look at the Draymonds, the Jimmys, the Moody's, for those guys to really impose any mismatch they have, which they haven't really done yet. But those are the ones where I'm like, okay, if they can do that, I could see a path for the Warriors. But they just didn't do it that much in this Rocket series. But I just don't think there was enough chances to. Yeah. Does Kerr? Let me ask you: does Kerr have a grasp on the roster to you? No. Like, does Kerr really know what they have, or does he just find out every night like we do?
As far as like subs, he has no idea.
I agree.
He's obviously established enough that they make good adjustments, but again, I don't know how they're going to adjust to Minnesota's front court athleticism.
Yeah.
Draymond's gonna. Draymond comes out the game. You put Post in. You talking about barbecue chicken? Nas Reed is gonna eat him alive.
Yeah.
Julius Randle's gonna eat him alive.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like Anthony Edwards got more and more comfortable as the Lakers series went on.
He did.
It's really up to him if he's gonna settle for a lot of shots. But I don't see the Warriors having an answer for him consistently.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. Okay. We have one game of the Cavs-Pacers series that we have already seen. Mm-hmm. This is an interesting, probably the most even series of this round. First game was without Garland. Off error, I picked the Pacers. Who did you think was going to win the first game? And did you know Garland wasn't playing it before the game? That was the thing. I thought that would be a bigger deal. They didn't really make it a big deal.
No, I only found out like a minute into the game.
Yeah, so I thought that would be huge, like for them to announce that, because sometimes Cavs are a weird team, like credit-wise, because sometimes I think they get a lot of credit as a roster. And then sometimes I don't think they get nearly enough credit as a roster. Like in this situation, they gave them a lot more credit by them still being the favorites without their second best player on the team, or at least their, third.
I see what you're saying.
They acted like, oh, this is no big deal. They're just missing Darius Garland, the only other All-Star on the team. And then
the whole game they're like, oh, Darius Garland comes back, like he's gonna help so much.
Yeah, but before that, they were like, it's no big deal. So, yeah, that was kind of weird. I thought it was a really big deal without him, especially when the other team's best player is a point guard. You have to have your starting point guard there normally, because throughout this game, the pace was pretty much solely determined by the Pacers.
And let's backtrack. The Bucks series.
Yeah, same.
They were playing Indiana basketball start to finish.
Yep. And in this series, oh, go ahead.
First game of the series, Indiana basketball.
Yeah. And one thing that makes Indiana really dangerous is they have so many guys who can bring the ball up court and push the ball. Almost everyone who gets a rebound, I mean, without Turner, everyone else who gets the rebound can push the pace, push the ball up court. Neesmith does it. Nembhard is basically a point guard anyway, and everyone on the bench does it. Toppin gets a rebound, he goes coast to coast. And on the Cavs side, Donovan Mitchell was the only player on the team on the court most of the time that could push the ball up court. And then Jerome came in and he like demanded it. And I know he took too many shots, but I'm really not sure what else he was supposed to do in this game. I know people were kind of upset. Jerome took 20 shots or whatever, and he should never be taking 20 shots. Well, who else was taking the shots? No one else could get the ball. And then Strus and the shooters just did not shoot well. I mean, they just didn't shoot well. They really couldn't get the shots they wanted because without a ball distributor, they weren't really getting into their spots, into their into their rhythm either. So go ahead.
I'm a little nervous. I'm going to be honest. This first game gave me a lot of red flags for Cleveland.
Okay, like what? Ty Jerome?
Piggyback immediately the Donovan point.
Mm-hmm.
As the game was getting more Indiana, Donovan was the only one who could keep up.
Yeah.
And the mistake was from Donovan, I thought, was like, let's keep it fast, but through me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's what Indiana wants.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, the commentary of the game was the announcers were talking about Garland's going to come back so they can match the speed. I'm like, no, you're making a mistake. Like, you have to do everything in your power to stop Indiana from playing fast.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like, all the signs in this first game were that it's Cleveland's series to lose.
Mm-hmm.
They showed the ability to defend in the half court. They showed the ability to match up. They showed the ability to shoot with them. They showed the ability to get good shots. But they couldn't sustain any of it because they were playing too fast the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's almost like playing fast is like a drug. Where when it's going well, it's like a high. And it's just like everything is fun. You're getting whatever you want. Everything just feels like great and extra athletic.
Yeah, and for playing, when one team goes on the fast break, they're out of position most of the time for another fast break because everyone is up in the front court. You have a chance to try to get a quick one going the other way. The problem is that's like a never-ending loop. You score going quick, our guys are still in the backcourt too. So we get the inbound, we just throw it up court too, and it goes back and forth. And
go ahead.
With someone like a Toppin or a Miles Turner scores in those fast moments, and it's like a vicious dunk. You're thinking, oh, the big guy's not there. Oh, they just had a dunk. Let's go get a dunk back. And you have that mentality in your head to go try to get it right back. They like bait people into it. They do good though.
That's where we haven't seen Indy lose to anyone except Boston in the playoffs yet. The last couple years. And the reason to me is Boston could match the speed, but Boston knows we could slow it down and fall back on the talent.
And Boston takes more threes, so a lot of times Boston's guys are already in position to get back on defense because they usually just take a three and there's only one rebounder. They're 4 out, 1 in. We know this. They're 4 out, 1 in all the time. So there's 4 guys on the outside of the 3-point line that are already ready to get right back on defense. So that just automatically slows the Pacers down.
It's almost like the Pacers and the Celtics are mitigating their own bad shot selection. They are.
Now, on the flip side, the Cavs are a heavy 2 bigs inside, and a lot of times they'll send an Okoro or their 3 to the corner. So those are 3 people completely out of position to get back on defense. So then you're left back with Merrill and Donovan getting back. And then a lot of times Donovan is going to the rack. So then you're 1 person back on defense, maybe 2. And it's just a recipe for the Pacers to go get a quick bucket.
I'll tell you another problem for me. Allen and Mobley played big. They didn't play together as much as I would like to see.
Yeah.
And every time they played with 1 big, Indiana destroyed them inside.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept feeling like the one big was taken away, the one definitive way they could get inside, and Indy would go to like the one other way they could get it.
Yeah.
And you can't end up with your guards checking Siakam. It's just not going to work. Like, they're all too small.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is a gear like Cleveland really is kind of small except for their front court.
Yeah.
Especially just specifically for Indy, because Halliburton's 6'10", 6'7". Mathurin plays big, Siakam plays big, and he gets switches all the time. Naismith plays big.
Yeah.
I mean, TJ McConnell is just a relentless attacker.
Yep.
And that to me is concerning for Cleveland. Like, Garland's going to come back, but what are you going to do to take control of the series?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're going to beat Indy playing fast.
Right.
At least in the series. You might catch them, on a good you shoot well, they don't. But to me, that's still Indy's getting what they want, just like that Bucks loss.
So, what do you have this series going?
I'm going to stick with Cleveland, but after that first one, 7.
Cleveland in 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm very concerned.
I'm going to go Cleveland in 7 as well. I really want to say 6 because I think Cleveland can win like 3 games in a row on Indiana.
Halliburton got a lot of easy, good looks, and I was like trying to visualize what they're gonna do to limit that, and I was drawing a blank.
Well, I think as far as the bigs, and as far as when Garland is there, I think their rotation is a lot better on defense. Their defensive rotating, because in the Miami series, I mean, obviously Miami just didn't have talent, but their rotating on defense was amazing. Like, they're rotating
is like fast. Jerome is not like a good athlete.
Garland is fast. He covers a lot of ground, and he can go from spot to spot. And him and Donovan just were like figure eighting with the help and recover. It was amazing. I think that can come back. I think they'll go maybe into a more defensive lineup at times with Okoro, maybe Javonte Green, with some of those guys.
Want to see.
I think they will do that at times when they have Garland. They really couldn't because they just didn't have enough scoring in this game without Garland. But with him, I think they can go into more just Donovan and Garland being the main scorers, and then having a real defensive presence at the 3. And maybe DeAndre Hunter will be able to move down to the 4 a little bit more, where he can guard and be versatile on offense. So, we'll see. We'll see about that. That series will be exciting. I think the games will be a lot closer moving forward. Last series, Knicks, Celtics.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit.
Knicks Pistons?
Yeah. Okay. That was an eventful series.
Yeah, what did you think of that series? Did you learn anything?
I learned that Detroit is like closer than Houston to be a contender.
Okay.
I know that the series didn't go as long, but they showed the blueprints of a deep roster.
Mm-hmm.
They showed the blueprints of like good chemistry.
Yeah. And
I mean, frankly, the second to last game they got robbed.
Yeah.
I mean, Hart flies into Hardaway. It's a foul. And it's like Josh Hart. He flew out reckless. He hit him. It was so obvious.
I made contact. Was it illegal? I don't know. But I definitely made contact.
And, of course, the 2-minute report right after. Oh, there was contact. Like, really? Who would have thought? But that was frustrating. But this series, to me, again, I didn't think Detroit could sustain the Knicks' physicality.
Mm-hmm.
And they could.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tobias was great in a lot of moments. It just wasn't quite enough. Malik Beasley was great in a lot of moments. He didn't play well the last game. He got the good look, didn't hit it.
Yeah.
Like their guys all sporadically. Duran kind of found his rhythm later in the series, but again, it felt like it wasn't quite enough.
Yeah.
Even with Cunningham, and there were moments where I'm like, oh my god, like Cunningham is like up next.
Yeah.
But he just couldn't sustain it.
Yeah, I agree. I think they had a problem with they don't have a whole lot of levels of scoring. At least they don't keep it consistent. It's like, oh, they can really, really shoot. Obviously, Hardaway and Beasley are two of the best shooters in the NBA.
Yeah.
We know that. They can shoot. Cade can hit some threes. They can kind of get to the mid-range, but it's really only Cade that has like a good mid-range game. And then inside, Duran is a great rebounder, maybe one of the best rebounders in the league, but he just doesn't have the tools to be like they don't really have any inside game as far as inside scoring. Cade can get some layups here and there, but really he's not a driver. They don't really have anyone that goes to the basket that great. Thompson does sometimes, just because he has like a top 5 hang time in the league. Yeah. But other than that, like they have no other inside game. So I think, especially when you're playing the Knicks, you kind of have to have a 3-level kind of scoring because the Knicks can score legitimately on 3 levels, and everyone can. Bridges has a nice mid-range, has a nice 3-point, can get to the rack. Towns, maybe the best 3-point big in the league, has a good mid-range, can get to the rack. We already know Brunson can do all those things. And OG has his corner, his 3 levels is from the corner. Corner 3, mid-range corner, short corner, or he's dunking. Like he has a great reverse game. So, I mean, obviously it went to 6 games, so it was somewhat even. But I think that in the games that the Pistons lost, that was like their biggest issue. Like, okay, you're not just going to beat the Knicks just hitting threes all night. You got to have a little more than that. Because anytime the threes didn't fall, the Knicks started coming back.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it was just Brunson. But, you know.
The series was like really physical, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it was just like small things that the Knicks, you just felt that experience in a lot of the moments.
You did.
Like the way the Knicks went on runs felt a little more imposing.
Yep.
But in typical Knicks fashion, of course, had to blow pretty much all of them.
Yep.
But let's get into the next round. So we kind of lead in, Boston handles Orlando pretty easily.
Yeah.
They had to earn it, but only because Orlando's very tough.
Yeah, and then Boston had a couple small injuries.
And that's the thing. They're going into this next round a little banged up.
Allegedly, yeah. Yeah. You never really know these days about the injuries.
That's true. But to me, it's like the supporting casts, it's tough to really gauge who's going to be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Just off of Boston's shooting, there'll be a couple games I'm sure they'll handle easily.
Yeah.
But to me, giving what we just saw benefit of the doubt, of course Brunson can match one of the Jays.
Point for point, yeah.
But the Karl Anthony Towns experience is so erratic.
Yeah.
I mean, one game, he's hitting Steph shots. He's hitting Kobe shots, pointing to the jersey. And the next game, he might as well not be out there.
The corner fadeaway?
Yeah.
Mid-corner, short corner fade, yeah.
That, he hit, the 3, the turnaround, and then the pound 3. I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah. He looked like the best player in the NBA for that. Those 4 possessions, yeah.
And then the next game, Jalen Duran was eating him alive. Like, Cat, how?
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, again, it was like select games, he's still hacking. Some of the games, he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
And it's like this series is going to come down to his maturity. And that's not a good sign for the Knicks.
Right. So who you got? What's the game count? The Knicks win a game, right?
For sure.
Okay. How many?
Boston in 6. And I'm gonna be salty watching the Jalen Brunson going off to like try to take command of the series,
Yeah.
but just not quite it be enough.
Yeah.
It's tough with Boston too because it's like they have their whole roster matches up with guards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are there any other teams that everyone in their rotation can match up with an elite guard?
No.
Like yeah, Brunson's gonna eat, and yet
Right.
they're gonna have like infinite bot. That was part of the problem with Indiana last year. They just had so many guys to throw at Brunson, he just couldn't keep it going.
They match up, but they also get destroyed by elite guards too. Like, I mean, Donovan is a little bit beyond elite, but in those situations, sometimes they do get eaten alive by those guys. But it doesn't always it's not always conducive to winning. But
And that's
they
like
do.
this Detroit series, the Knicks
Yeah.
were so stagnant.
Yeah.
And it was like Brunson being a superhero. You're not beating Boston like that.
I agree with you. 6 games. I think my biggest problem with the Knicks in this last series was the lack of regression from the other players. Like Josh Hart might as well have not even come up court on offense for like the entire series.
It was a
should
lot
just-
of like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he was making
why would
bad
you
passes.
do that?
He had a couple of handoffs that he just handed off right to the other team. Like, you notice those too? Like,
Yeah.
it's a handoff. That's the one thing you're trying to avoid, a tough pass. And he's fumbling handoffs. Like he just wasn't aggressive at all. He never went to the basket. He had Beasley on him, and he wasn't like posting him up. In college, his game was posting up. Like he would take guys into the paint and just be too big and strong.
Yeah.
He never does that in the NBA. I mean, he did in the regular season, but in this last series, he didn't do it at all. And then until Game 7, or was it Game 6? Bridges, like I said this off air, but Bridges leads the league, and for me, in guys who end the game with good stats, but I didn't notice them playing at all the whole game. Like, oh, Bridges had 21. I didn't notice a single point.
Tobias Harris was cooking him.
He was. The last 2 games, he was.
It was so fucking easy too.
Yeah, so I don't know what Bridges is going to do, but if those guys, and OG is a role player. Like he's maybe an accelerated role player, I think we mentioned like a Spurs Kawhi kinda, but downscaled. But a Spurs Kawhi kinda where like your game plan should never be, oh, OG is going to give us 19 points. You should just be happy that OG gave you 15. Like, oh, OG got 15, perfect. We should win this game. It shouldn't be like, yo, we got to go to OG. That shouldn't be that's not the winning formula to me for the Knicks. I'm expecting Cat and Brunson to do their jobs, but if Hart and Bridges aren't gonna step up and be aggressive, they don't have to score a lot of points, but they have to be aggressive against Boston. You cannot give those guys breaks on defense, and you got to go after every mismatch you can find.
Worst case scenario, I think like that's a way to lose I could be okay with.
What, those guys not being aggressive?
Yeah. To me, like that's the question for me is can Brunson and Cat match the Jays?
I think they can. I'm not worried about that as much because Brunson
4
matched,
to 5 games.
Brunson
Similar to Denver, I could see if they could do it 4 to 5 times, I could see the Knicks having a chance to win the series.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't with Cat. Like the 2 times he's not giving it to me, guaranteed Boston wins.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Like if you give it to me the other 5 games, we got this.
My thing is, I think they can go 2-on-2 against the Jays, like every game. But it's the other guys. Derek White is going to outscore everybody else on the Knicks.
Yeah.
Like I think that's very possible. Whereas, like, okay, the Jays and Brunson and Cat 44 to 48, like they were right there. But then White and Holiday finished with like 30 points combined, and Bridges and Hart have 17 combined points. Like I could just see that scenario where Brunson's going and playing his heart out, dying on the court. They gotta, send him right to the ice bath after games. But then Hart and Bridges don't break a sweat. That happens all the time. So Celtics in 6.
I'm nervous, but of course I'm going to be rooting for the Knicks.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Knicks for sure. I want the Knicks to win in 7, but Celtics in 6, I think.
I mean, hey,
now I will say
Drew missed the game. What's his name? Tatum missed the game. Brown's got a banged up knee.
If the Celtics turn the ball over like we know they can in the playoffs, the Knicks have to capitalize. That's where if he's not aggressive when they're turning the ball over, Hart is doing what he does best. If he's not streaking, if he's not going for those loose balls, then they might as well just give up the series. But there are going to be moments when he can, because there will be long rebounds and there will be turnovers. Those guys have to do something about it. So we shall see. WNBA has started preseason. It's exciting. There's a lot of shuffling of teams, a lot of different rosters. So check that out. I'll probably next week go deeper into that when the season actually starts, because they're still making a bunch of cuts. Like they cut each team cut like 2 players today. So stuff. WNBA, they need more teams. You can't be cutting these first round picks. They're cutting first round picks, bro.
That's crazy.
First and second round. I mean, it's 3 rounds in the WNBA, but the second round pick is the 17th pick getting cut first day. I don't even think she played in the preseason game. Got cut.
How fast do they? We'll see how fast they can add teams, because their revenue is going up enough for them to be adding teams.
They added one this year.
Yeah.
What was a new team this year? The Golden State one. Next year will be Toronto.
Okay. Yep.
And then next year, I don't think they announced where it's going to go. Did they? I don't know. I got to look that up. I don't think they announced where it's going to go, but there will be another team that third year. I think Florida is trying to get it. Either Florida or I forgot who else wanted it. Somebody wants the other team. I can't remember who it was, but there should be another team the next year after next. So Toronto, Serena Williams bought that team. So Serena Williams would be the owner of that Toronto team. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. Yep. You got anything else?
You didn't want to talk off season, but I mean, Lake Show got sent home so early.
Yeah. What about it? Wait, let me say this before you say anything. There's still a chance that the Lakers could be the biggest idiots for making the Luka trade. There's still a really good chance. Because if Luka doesn't take the extension that they have to offer him, and he becomes a unrestricted free agent next year, this is the dumbest trade of the century. For the Lakers. Not for the Mavericks. For the Lakers. So everyone who thinks that the Lakers made this amazing trade, they don't even have Luka for 2 years.
Yeah.
They had Luka for a year and a half. How stupid is that? Like, if you made the trade and you had Luka 4 years, automatic, then I'm good trade. But Luka, they may only have Luka for a year and a half. This half season in one season next year.
Luka better be the MVP next year.
Why you say that?
He's got no motherfucking excuse.
To just jack? For what?
He came to LA. He came to LA. The fan base crowned him as the next go.
Yeah.
And it's 40-year-old LeBron running out of gas in all these games. JJ, what the fuck are you doing? What's your excuse?
This is a bad series for JJ. Really bad series for
JJ. Horrible. Rookie coach. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Luka, you
don't say he's not experienced. Be careful.
Luka owned this team last year.
Yeah.
And in the fourth quarter, they figured him out every time.
Yeah.
And by that last game, Rudy figured them out.
Well, on the flip side, JJ just didn't figure the Timberwolves out.
Right. That's fair.
Because I think the Mavericks Timberwolves series was like a masterpiece by Jason Kidd. Like that was just amazing coaching for him.
Yeah.
And this one was just the kind of complete opposite to me, because that's the one. The thing is, the one advantage. This sounds like major hate on Chris Finch, because it's not major hate. But if there's one advantage a coach should go into playing against the Timberwolves, you should think you can outcoach Chris Finch at least. Like, you're not coaching. It's not Steve Kerr. It's not Popovich. Like, where you're like, all right, I got to try to figure him out. It's a chess game.
Minnesota doesn't run things. Like, they just come down and go. Like, that's it.
Exactly. So you should go into that series confident that you can outcoach Chris Finch. And Jason Kidd did not do it, like, at all. I mean, I'm sorry, JJ didn't do it at all. Jason Kidd definitely did. I think that's one that all coaches should watch, that series, to see like what Jason Kidd was doing.
That's where it's like so arrogant to come in with your identity and think like, my identity is foolproof. We'll get it done. Yeah. No, JJ, like, that's not how it works.
Or like our guys are good, and like I'm coaching. Like I'm coaching guys, and they're good players, so we're fine. Like no.
The second to last game, the one Lakers had like a good chance to win.
Yeah.
When they blew that shit, I'm like, we've been watching this series for like four games now.
That's the one when LeBron didn't take a shot in the fourth quarter. Or whatever?
Yeah. It's been 2v5. And Minnesota's like no fucking structure on offense, no real like good chemistry, and their guys are like forcibly contributing.
You remember that game that Danny Green won from the corner? LeBron drove and kicked it out to him, and he hit that three in the corner?
Yeah.
Who was coaching that? Was that Vogel?
Yes.
Bro, it's not that hard. LeBron, if you have LeBron on your team, the fourth quarter should not be hard.
I know.
Like, your last plays, the last 3 plays of the game should be very easy. LeBron, clear out. We have shooters everywhere else, and you just find somebody. You either go to the rack and dunk on somebody, or you kick it out. It's that simple. But why does Austin Reeves get 2 opportunities to save the game before LeBron gets any?
It's because LeBron they didn't run shit.
LeBron got 0 opportunities, and Austin Reeves is jacking, playing hero ball. Luka is just turning the ball over. I mean, LeBron turned the ball over too a little bit in those moments, but it's only because he was passing. He shouldn't have been passing.
Man, the Lakers got completely and thoroughly exposed.
They did.
Because now their offseason is like a big question mark to who are you going to get?
We play this. I hope this is the one thing I'm so excited for LeBron to retire. I never want the LeBron needs help argument ever again. I want that to end so bad. Like,
it's the most you're not the GOAT argument ever. Like,
every year.
If we're gonna spend your whole career talking about how much help you need, bro, you cannot be the GOAT. You just can't.
The one time we asked, did Kobe need help? He got Ron Artest. That was the help. Ron Artest, bro. And they just won. Like, that's the best help. We're talking about Lakers getting Embiid and Giannis.
Oh, my God. Dude,
like, we're at that level. Kobe needed Ron Artest to beat the Big 3 Celtics. That's it. And, like, we're talking about,
you needed to have a long talk with Powell and Ron Artest, and that's it.
Bro, get up today or get up or first take, whatever. We're talking about, is LeBron going to take a pay cut so they could get Giannis? What? Or is he going to take a pay cut so they could get Durant? Are you kidding me?
I've never seen a more guaranteed. Yo, KD and Luka on the same team. Oh my God, that team's not sniffing a title.
So they already have 2 Hall of Famers. So they need 3 to beat OKC, who has 0 at the moment.
I just like a center you're gonna actually play when it matters.
Yeah, I will still defend Jackson Hayes to the ends of the earth.
Bro,
But
like the game, it was the second to last game. I think he made a dumb hack. You give up on him for the game, and it's just like you're done.
Yeah,
bro. As Gobert is eating you alive, you put in Maxi Kleber instead.
who has never played? He
Like,
played
bro,
one
that
game for
was
the Lakers
that was like a Doc level embarrassing.
Doc wouldn't even do that.
Doc is decent with subs. Never this dumb.
There's one thing, to a fault, Doc trusts his players. He definitely trusts his players. JJ just does not. I mean, like, I don't.
So arrogant. Oh my god.
Yeah, if I was Jackson Hayes, I would tell, like, you got to trade me. I'm never playing for him again. Like, it's over. You can't. I can't watch. You sit me on the bench, like, you don't respect me enough to think I can stop Rudy Gobert from getting 25 rebounds in a game. Like, you don't think I can do anything to stop that?
No,
yeah,
bro. It was because before the game he said he's not playing Hayes.
Yeah.
And because he's so fucking arrogant, there's no like, well, it's not. We're getting fucking cooked. I know it wasn't in the game plan that Rudy Gobert was going to get a 20-20.
When Hayes was playing, Rudy didn't cook him.
Rudy wasn't doing shit.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't even like treat him. You don't even put a body on him, essentially.
And they just don't even use Hayes right. Like, when they first got Hayes for a few weeks, it looked like they were using him really well. He was catching lobs. He was blocking shots. He was running the floor with LeBron. And then all of a sudden, like, they just stopped doing that. Like, they stopped putting him in pick and rolls. They started using, like, LeBron or Vanderbilt in the pick and rolls, and Hayes is just, like, in a dunker spot. Like, that's not his game. And he's a 1-foot jumper, so he can't be – dunker spot guys can't be 1-foot jumpers. There's no room for them to dunk.
Yeah.
So you got to – he's a runway guy. You give him a runway, he's banging it. JJ was the dude. Didn't JJ throw him that lob where he used to talk about all the time? Like, yo, I didn't think he was going to catch it. Like, I thought I threw a really bad pass. You remember that?
Yeah,
on the Pelicans?
The Lakers got, like, no fucking lobs this whole series.
Yeah. And then, I mean, anyone who actually likes Jackson Hayes knows there's one thing he does well is catch the lob. But it is off 1 foot. He's not going to catch it from the dunker spot. It's not his game. So, I don't know. We're coaching. I mean, JJ's the coach, but that was not a good exhibition of his talent there.
No.
Is there any other offseason talk you want to have? Bucks?
I mean, Giannis, you mentioned. I'll say it too early. Houston is the spot. It's too perfect.
For Giannis?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Shooting? Add shooting? Forget all that.
Not with it. What position does he play there?
Dylan Brooks.
Giannis at the 3?
Bring back the small forward. Absolutely.
So who are you giving up? Who are you keeping? Who's your starting 5? With only Rockets and Bucks players. Obviously, it'll be Giannis and probably one other person. But who are you keeping, and who are you trying to get from the Bucks?
I'm super wishful thinking because realistically, I'd say Sengun, like that. I could finesse that to make sense.
To keep him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as far as like the fit with Giannis.
Yeah.
But the exciting one is Jalen Green.
So give me the starting 5. Give me the new Rockets starting 5 next year for you.
Hypothetically, Holiday, let's say. I can't really visualize, assuming you got to give up Van Fleet.
Okay.
Holiday, Green. Assuming Dylan Brooks is gone, Giannis.
Okay.
Or let's go Thompson at the 3, Giannis at the 4, Sengun at the 5. Or
yeah.
If you got to give up Sengun, I'll keep Adams at the 5.
You might as well not make the trade if you got to give up Sengun to me. Because he's the most winning player they have. I mean, when I say you might as well not make the trade, I just mean you might as well that's not even the Rockets anymore. If you give up Sengun, to me, I think he's the piece that makes them a good destination.
I don't want you to give up 5 players, and the only way you don't do that is if either Green or Sengun is in it.
Oh, so you're saying you would prefer to keep Green between the two?
Yes.
Okay, I got you. So you would lose Van Vliet and Green, probably.
Van Vliet and Sengun.
I mean, Van Vliet and Sengun. Got you. Okay. I got you. Obviously, they can't get Kevin Porter back because he already ruined that situation. So, and Damian.
I want to see Cam Whitmore play. I want to see the dude they drafted play.
Shepherd.
Yeah. Like,
he's a point guard.
Why did Jeff Green fall out of the rotation? He couldn't help. Like, you couldn't hit a shot the whole series. Jeff Green couldn't have helped that.
I thought Jeff Green would have been nice in this series.
Jabari, I just want to see Jabari minutes slowly increase. That's it.
Yeah. If they lose Sengun, then you may have Jabari at the 5. I mean, Jabari at the 4, Giannis at the 5. That might be
Giannis. Yeah, I would maybe convince Giannis to be a center.
I don't like the Rockets for Giannis, though. I like
how weird it seems.
It is weird, and I think they would beat the crap out of some teams, but I just think in the playoffs, them not being able to shoot would be really bad. I know I'm even probably more out there, but I think this is the Booker team for me. I think you trade Green and Van Vliet for Booker and whatever scrub Phoenix wants to send with Booker. But I think you go Booker at the 1 or 2, figure out. I mean, you got Whitmore, you got a bunch of guys who just don't get a lot of minutes. Try to keep Jalen Green, and you go Booker, Green, Thompson, Sengun. Like I think that would be, for me. I think if they get a guard with this team, even if it's not like a perfect point guard, but if they get someone else that could just straight up get buckets from the guard spot and has some size to him, can defend. I think Booker is a very improving point guard. I mean, he's not a point guard still, but he's someone who can play it very serviceably. And I could see him being on the championship team as the starting point guard. I don't think that's a long shot. And then just kind of something where Jalen Green doesn't have to be such a one-on-one scoring threat if you have another really good guard that can score with size. Because
go ahead.
Obviously, there's other guards that could fit here, but I think that how they play, you're gonna need someone who's switchable, and like a Trae Young kind of falls out of that conversation. Even a Ja falls out of that conversation for me. Whereas you don't want Amin Thompson's man switching onto Ja. So I think you have a Booker who's decent defender, very good scorer, very good shooter. He fixes their shooting immediately. He fixes their ball handling immediately. And he fixes them being more 3-level immediately. And the pick and roll opportunities are fantastic. Van Vliet and trust me, I'm not a size hater because I'm a small point guard as well. Van Vliet he's just not a pick and roll guy. Like, he just does not do well. Like, he doesn't give you any advantages in the pick and roll to me. He doesn't really exploit the mismatch if he gets it. He doesn't really make the good pass from it.
He's not a good point guard. He's just a good two-way guard.
Yeah.
Who has a relatively good IQ.
Yeah.
So he can pass for it. He can kind of fill the spot.
Yep.
But he's never really running the team. He's never running a good offense. And that's why Houston, everybody that talked about Houston, all I heard was oh, this team struggles to score. This team goes on long stretches where they can't score. It's
yep.
That falls on the point guard every time.
Yeah. I like Jalen Green, but I assume he would be in the trade, and I think he would actually be interesting in Phoenix. But I would trade both those guys to Phoenix. That would be my Rockets trade. Or Denver. Denver probably doesn't want to make the trade now, but for Jamal Murray, I think that would be another option.
Yeah.
Murray would be a nice – he would be a perfect point guard for the Rockets. But Denver's good, so I don't think they
Side note, JJ lost to Chris Finch. Ty Lue lost to an interim guy who was there for a week.
Yeah.
So it could be worse for JJ.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Nah, but we mentioned the Bucks though. It's like the last game was annoying because it was like pure Doc.
Mm-hmm.
But Damian Lillard going out like that, it just kind of killed the deer in a way. No, I guess pun intended, but because the Bucks' future now, like Giannis is kind of, if he wants to have a good future, he has to go.
Yeah.
And I saw something that was, the Bucks, a lot of their potential moves would have centered around Dame.
Yeah. And they have no draft picks at all.
None. For like years, bro.
Yeah.
I think for the next like 5 or 6?
Yeah.
It's like all swaps or somebody else owns, like, oh my God, you gave away everything for Drew and then you did it for Dame? And now you're just fucked.
Yeah. It's tough. It's really tough. I think now I will say for the Bucks' sake, the Rockets can offer them probably, some of the best packages. That's really it though, because nowadays the teams aren't as for a while the teams were stacked with a gold mine of talent, and now they're like winning. So like the Magic, they don't need to make a trade.
Yeah, bro. OKC's not giving up anybody. Like, why would they? Cleveland.
And Giannis is not gonna take the Charlotte trade. I mean, he's just gonna block it. Like he's just not gonna do it. So yeah, but that would be a good team to make a trade with. Charlotte has a lot of guys. They have a lot of talent there that just no direction as a team.
I'd say Toronto is another team that just has like talent with no direction.
Yeah, but making that Ingram trade, they're planning something, I guess. But yeah, I agree. I thought about that too, but then I was like, but they also Toronto's problem is they overpay all those guys. Like they have Quickly making as much as Gary Trent.
That's why
I guess almost as much as Dame.
What are we doing? Why? What's the next steps? I'm not sure.
Quickly is very close to being a max player for them, so they really don't have a whole lot. Now, I did hear someone say the Pistons. That would be interesting. If you throw Tobias, a couple picks, Ron Holland, maybe one of the shooters, maybe Hardaway, since Beasley just left the Bucks, maybe throw Hardaway into that, and then you may have a Cade, Beasley, Giannis, Thompson, Stewart, or Duren. I'm sure Stewart or Duren would have to be in the trade, one of them, but either one of them.
I mean, Ivy's still coming back. I'm assuming he's going to get back to good form.
Or even if he's in the trade, I mean, he's a good piece that like they made it to the playoffs without him. I mean, they made it 6 games with the Knicks without him. So, I mean, if you lose him, you lose him. But he would be someone really good coming back where you could get rid of some of your other guys.
And he's in a good spot where, like, he showed a lot of upside last time we saw him.
Yeah.
So I would be willing to include him.
Yep. They got moves. We'll get deeper into that later because I think there's going to be a lot of big players moving because the free agency is really bad this year. The draft is not looking that fantastic either. Combine is this week, though, so I think we'll learn more about that. But, we'll see. We shall see. That's it for today. Thank you for listening, as always, and we will see you guys next week talking about more of the second round.